Heyo, we're back
Gotcha.
with another episode of Building Together.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about what we're excited about and focused on in 2024. So It's early in the year. We're all jazzed about reaching goals, milestones, metrics, measuring all the things. And we're essentially doubling the flower farm.
Yeah, we're doing all the cliche sayings.
Yeah.
OKRs, goals,
I know.
milestones, metrics, key results, subject. Yeah, all of that.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we
Plus,
look
it's essentially like our first real year of flower farming, so you kind of want to set out those clear.
Yeah, I mean, last year
things
we
you're
were
shooting for.
Last year was FAFO, right?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, FAFO stands for fucking around and finding out.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
It was a lot of
And if we were going to use a
experimentation.
sports analogy, what would we call last year?
I don't know.
Preseason. Also, did you hear me say sports?
Sports.
I couldn't. I often can't say the S as well, and it sounds like an SH, so I said sports.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
She makes fun of me for it, and it's cool. It is kind of funny.
I'm trying to think of another example now, but I can't.
Well, so what are we planning on for 2024 then?
So doubling the flower farm essentially means we're kind of revamping systems and we're dialing that in. So from a drip system standpoint, from a planning and operation standpoint, how are we going to get our flowers out into the world in Ventura, online, virtually, in person? What are we going to be sharing and ultimately contributing to the community?
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it.
Totally. I mean, what are we going to contribute and produce and create, and then that we can obviously sell because we need to pay for Tequila Farm.
Right.
Right. And last year or the year before, it was all about growing food for like productivity and longevity or something like that. And we realized food is not our thing.
Yeah.
Right. Flowers are definitely our thing. There's a lot of things we can do. Plus, you love it.
What are your favorite kinds of flowers? Okay, name one flower type that we grew this year.
3/4 bib hose connector.
No, you have to name a flower.
I'm the ops guy. I'm the drip systems
Are you
builder.
trying to get around this?
I have.
Come on,
I don't.
think.
I don't have my favorite flower. I have my favorite drip system.
Okay.
That's what I do here. I'm the ops guy.
You
So-
can't name a single flower.
A sunflower.
That doesn't count.
A sweet pea.
Okay, there you go.
That one's easy because
All
it's
right.
like tallest thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna be what? So the goal is double the size of the flower farm.
Yeah.
We also, I think, are trying to grow year round because obviously here in Southern California, as
Because
one
we
farm
can.
because that's exactly where I was going. We had this farm consultant come over one time, and we're like, what can we grow or
We
what
paid
should
him
we grow?
what, $250 to come over
For
and
like 30 minutes.
do a farm consult.
It was he was like, this is not a real farm, guys. It was like a real farming consultant.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so we asked him, like, what should we grow? And he goes, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's Southern California.
Yeah. We're like,
oh,
oh,
shit.
okay.
Yeah, for those who don't know, we're from
Cha-ching.
Ohio and Wisconsin, so we're not
Yeah.
used to having a year-round growing season.
Yeah.
So he said whatever you want. So we realized that we can grow throughout the year. The problem with the initial setup is what?
It's in the shade
During
in
the winter.
So there's a massive tree that blocks the whole flower farm that is what you saw in the photos and the videos from this summer, but that is not getting any sun. So we need to kind of optimize other places around our yard. Actually, you can see how sunny it is right here where we're standing.
Yeah.
So right on the other side of this wall, there's a pretty decent space. It's not like huge, but it's a decent enough
it's big
space
enough that we
for
can grow stuff.
plenty of rows of flowers.
Plenty of light, that's
Yeah.
for sure. And we
And
got
then-
2 spaces like that.
And then next to the chicken coop is another like very, very sunny, 8 hours of sun spot. So we're going to probably try to do that in the next couple weeks and even see like what we can grow now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, how do we grow year round so that we can quote unquote sell year round, right?
Yeah. So when we think about the business model, what are we looking to do this year?
Yeah, so I mean, look, we have a couple clients for the month or the weekly delivery, right? For some businesses. Yeah, we could probably do more of that. I think really what it comes down to, I said it before, but it's like, what product? So like when we think about, we need to sell stuff, frankly. We need to sell stuff to continue to pay for Tequila Farm. Otherwise, it's just an expensive hobby. So what I think about is if we're going to sell something, if we're going to make a product and sell it, there's like 3 criteria. 1, do we love doing it? Is it fun to make and build? 2, is it easy-ish to make and build? And 3, does it actually bring profit or whatever, right? That's how I think about it. And it's like they kind of all, like some things that are super profitable might not be super fun, right? But it's also kind of easy to do. So it's like we have to kind of figure that out. And like what is the highest score in terms of fun, ease, and profitability? That's all that matters. And so we got a few things on the list, which are...
Well, I think expanding our subscription service to businesses downtown, you kind of mentioned that.
Yeah.
But that's been a total highlight for me personally, working with a restaurant downtown called the Immigrant Son. You probably see a lot of our posts. We've done some collaborative stuff with them. They're amazing. And for me, the reason why I like that and I want to expand that model is just because it feels amazing to be contributing to the community downtown. And what I mean by that is like every Friday morning, I usually go at like 7 a.m., bring my flowers downtown, and you've got the big trucks and people coming in with food and beverages and whatever else they're delivering to the local businesses. And here's me like with my little box of flowers contributing.
Yeah.
And it might be a very small way, but I'm contributing to like the larger community that is this beautiful city that we live in. And I love that feeling. And I come home and I'm energized every time.
And that's what I'm saying. Like in the category of fun, like this is the highest level of fun.
Right.
And like, sure, is it the easiest? No, because it's like individual things. But it's so fun that it outweighs like any of the like, it's not even hard, but the hard part, right?
Yeah. So I think we'll continue to be really selective about the businesses that we work with. That's not going to be, that'll be a small portion of
That's to keep us in the community and have fun.
Exactly.
You know?
And the people we've met are amazing and feel like family. And we'll continue to do things like U-Picks, where we invite people out to the farm to walk and pick their own bouquets in the summer months when things are flourishing.
Yeah. That's super fun.
That is
right.
fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then what else? What else are we going to try? I know that there's going to be like dried flowers. Like we have so many dried flowers. I mean, there's literally 100 of them sitting on this table as I look. But like there's dried flowers, there's resin, so those are physical products. Like those are cool, but like how easy is it to do? Like we're trying to figure out the product setup, right? Like we have a mix of products. So this year it's all about what are the products that we're really good at, that we have fun with and actually bring us a little bit of profit.
Yep.
So that's a big one. What else did we have on the list?
I mean, I also want to mess around with edible flowers. So there's a lot of beautiful flowers like nasturtiums and pansies that you can bake with and incorporate into food dishes. So we're just starting to think about that and research and experiment with planting some of those. So there's a lot of, potentially hosting workshops on site. I mean, there's a lot of different things we're thinking about.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things on the list, and they're not all going to work. Some are going to work better than others. We have other things on the list that probably haven't talked about. Maybe we should, at some point, probably be more specific on how we actually outline those goals, right? Like, because, this is high-level conversation. But generally speaking, it sounds like what we're trying to do here is we're just trying to make season 1, the real season, right? Grow as many flowers as possible now that we know we can do it and we like it.
Yeah.
Find out which products sell well.
Right.
That is fun and somewhat easy to do. And really just create an operational system that not runs itself, but definitely runs it a little bit easier. Like I look at our drip systems out there and like we tried one drip system for one side and another drip system for another side. And I'm like, man, this side sucks and this one's better.
You're obsessed with drip systems.
Yeah, man. Everything's come down to systems.
Yep.
So that's what else? What else do you have?
So
Anything?
I think because this is not a flower farming podcast like we talked about, just setting that aside, that is one piece of what we are building together. But the bigger picture of 2024, I think, is to continue to travel. Last year, one thing that we did that we really enjoyed was stay for a month in Mexico. And this is one of Chad's dreams to like surf and really practice and be immersed in like a surf community. So I met him down there, and we were there. I was there for 4 weeks. You were there for five. And so doing another version of that, and getting things in place so we can step away from the farm. Even like if it's high season, that might be challenging for flowers. So how do we figure out people to come in and help us out and like find the right people? Or, so I think we're dialing in a lot of different systems, but also just like life planning, continuing to focus on our health and wellness, and kind of sometimes what feels like the boring day-to-day habits of going to the gym together and, doing an ice bath and getting 8 hours of sleep and drinking a ton of water, like things that are just basic, but that keep our operations healthy and running so we can do the things that we love together in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is good high-level stuff to be talking about, right? And I think in a future episodes, we should get specific on each one. Because, like, the big one that I have in my mind is, like, I want less shit. Like, I want to get rid of 90% of our stuff. Like, I look in that garage, I was trying to find the equipment for this, doing this stupid podcast. I say stupid, but I mean, like, we're doing a basic podcast here with my iPhone and our stuff, and I couldn't find two mics. I couldn't find shit in the garage.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
And it's,
To be fair, we basically built our own house. Not from the ground up, but we gutted it and remodeled it. So we bought a lot of the tools that we needed to
at the time
remodel, do a total fixer-upper. So a lot of those tools we don't need anymore, and they're just in our garage, and we need to sell them. So there's a reason for that.
Yeah. But I just want to get rid of stuff. So I say you had a word.
Diversify.
You had a word for yourself, which was diversify, right?
Yeah.
Diversify, essentially for you, I think. What does diversify mean for you?
Well, I think diversify means many things, but initially I was thinking about it in just the revenue streams perspective of not putting all your eggs in one basket, whether that's a corporate job or you have a side hustle and you're only doing, flower bouquets, or you're only selling wholesale to local florists. Like, I want to try out 5-10 different revenue streams, diversify them, see what works, and then scale back what doesn't. So the more it's like the example of a diversified financial portfolio of investments, like those tend to do better than just only doing one thing or only having one type of stock or what have you. So it's the same thing in this business. It's the same thing in our life, like diversifying our workouts, diversifying our food. It means many different things, but it started out as kind of thinking about the business model and revenue streams, but also diversifying partnerships, collaborations, content online, who we're working with, finding those trusted, energizing people and partnerships that like can take us to the next level, and we can equally contribute some kind of impact. So that's kind of what has been my word, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really do those word things much, but if I were to have one, it would be less.
Yeah.
I just want less. I felt the weight of stuff. I felt the weight of... I'm a freedom type of person, and I look around and like we lacked a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
Because, you move from a small apartment in Culver City to a house with a garage and a half-acre of land in Ventura. And it's like you find a way to fill the space in a way, And I want to get rid of stuff. I can't handle it. I don't need the 16 mugs that I have.
I think the biggest challenge for us in this year as we grow and double the flower farm is not taking on more, meaning like not buying more stuff or bringing in more junk, like being really thoughtful about what are we growing, what do we really need, but not, because usually if you're like, I'm going to grow my business by double, or I'm going to expand my house or whatever, like you tend to buy more stuff or think you need more stuff. So how can we find this balance of growing the flower farm, but not like suddenly taking on a bunch more crap that fills our garage or that we think we need to be successful flower farmers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good high-level overview of what's kind of going on for 2024. I think it makes sense then for us to probably get a little more specific in future episodes on like each one in a way, right? Like, should be a podcast on just less stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big thing. Podcast episode on just diversifying, like
Yeah.
being more specific on these goals. But I think for a high level overview of 2024, it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Everybody's hopeful at the beginning of the year. The question is how do you maintain and keep going through, especially when the unexpected hits, because it always hits, you know? And
Yep.
it's like, how do you adjust and how do you pivot?
Yeah.
That's a future episode for sure. Pivot,
Yeah, for sure.
you know? Anything
All right.
else you want to say?
No, I think that's a wrap.
Oh, well then that's a wrap, she said. That's it.
Well,
See you later.